You cum receptacle.
I'm not Benedict.
Cumberbatch? Cum in the ass? Benedict cum in the ass. That's a new one.
Warning for underage listeners. This is an adult-oriented podcast. There will be frequent references to kink, sex, crude language, and various other grotesqueries. If you're under 18 and looking for answers and upfront advice about sex, please visit scarletteen.com. Also, for the dude bro listeners out there, this is nerdy shit. Go away.
Welcome to the Gotham Press Podcast.
This is a verbal orgy about anything like the Grafenberg spot,
The difference between Star Trek and Star Wars,
the finer points of throwing a pair of floggers, and just whatever the hell we find to talk about.
That said, if you have a desire to learn these and many more kink-tastic nerdgasms, stay tuned.
We're back.
Holy shit. We're out of hibernation.
You were hibernating.
I love hibernating.
Yeah. Your poor mistress, though. She didn't like it very much.
No, she did not. And I will do all that I can to make it up to her.
As you should.
I agree. I should.
All right, but we're back. Finally. Once more. Into the breach.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to what?
The Gotham Press.
The Gotham Press Podcast. We have returned. I am one of your hosts, Awesome. And that guy over there is your other quote-unquote host, Greedy.
Up the ass with a sandpaper dildo, pal.
Is what you enjoy, I understand.
Huh.
I don't like it myself, but your kink is not my kink, and that's okay.
Yeah, there is that. Welcome back, listeners. I'm glad that you haven't totally abandoned us like we seem to have abandoned you.
No, we would never abandon our listeners.
I totally apologized about that. Life is just chaos right now. But we have roped each other down. That's Awesome's kink, not mine.
Hey, I enjoy using rope.
Yes, and now several of our listeners are going to have that wonderful mental image of us roped down together.
You sure they haven't already?
VH in particular.
She's no longer VH.
Oh, yeah. What did she...
SG.
That's right. I forget. There's so many name changes in the community. It's rather difficult to keep on top of all of them all the time.
But as long as you know the person, you're good.
Yeah. Well, we happen to live with that one.
True.
So I think there's a little chance of forgetting about her.
And technically, she's the only one here that has changed her name.
You are correct.
I mean, you had that one snafu of a name change.
Well, that was just sheer idiocy.
It was all for the money, man. All for the money.
I did it all for the money. Oh, I understand now why women so despise getting random requests, random friend requests, random submissive or dominant requests.
Do tell.
Okay, so to backtrack a little bit, just in case anybody missed, several episodes back, while I was at the coast with my mistress and family, I emailed the admins of FetLife asking if I could get a name that somebody had that was inactive for about 6 years. Well, they sent an email back letting me know that would be okay. We would have to email the owner of that account, and if they had no problem with it, then cool, it would be all mine. And if they didn't reply within a week, cool, it would be all mine. And that was all I heard. Then suddenly, the very next day, my name was no longer Greedy. It was Money. And that was not what the intent of this whole exercise was. My goal was to set up a separate account, a sock account, for money. Just money. And I want to keep it active. And I have been keeping it active. But in the process, I have received dozens and dozens of requests asking if I want to find a mistress that I can pay, or if I would like to exchange money for pictures, or if I would like a submissive to support. And that is not the point of this profile at all. Money is somebody that you can have a complicated relationship with, because most people do have a complicated relationship with money. I will happily give financial advice, which, I don't know, I may not be the very best person to choose for financial advice, but, I'll help wherever I can. But the entire goal of that profile is not for somebody else to pick up on me. And so I totally get the concept of women getting all these total randoms hitting them up, telling them about the magic penis that he has and how it's going to solve all of her problems if she just kneels to him. It's like, what the fuck, people? Really?
Ladies, if you want to email us to either agree or disagree with Greedy, disagree mostly probably, you can hit us up at Gotham Press Podcast at gmail.com.
Where else can they find us?
Well, we are kind of everywhere. We kind of pared down a little bit, though. Mostly we're on our Facebook. You can find us, Gotham Press.
MySpace?
No, we're not on MySpace.
We should be. It's the popular one.
Oh, God. No, but we are on Twitter at Gotham Press Pod.
And we're on FetLife.
We are obviously the
Gotham Press.
The Gotham Press. Oh, man.
Why aren't we just Gotham Press? Did somebody else take that?
Well, I was trying to do Gotham Press Podcast, but for some reason I couldn't get it in there.
It was probably too long. That's why you couldn't get it in there.
Double
entendre.
Sometimes we have those problems.
Yep.
Black guys.
I'll give you a fist for that. I'll fist you.
No fisting.
Several of our listeners just got excited again.
Yeah, they do. Now,
SG.
She probably is in her room listening and giggling.
Is she here?
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
You are oblivious, man.
I really am.
You literally walked past her car to get in here.
I'm sorry, I was focused on other things.
Masturbation isn't what you should focus on, man.
Well, rumor has it that may be legal in public someday soon.
Actually, it's legal in public now. That's it, legal. Legal.
Liga.
Oh, God. It is legal in public now in Guadalajara.
Guadalajara, Mexico.
Yeah. Where now you can get it on pretty much wherever you damn well please, as long as nobody else complains.
There had to be a catch.
There had to be.
So what is the purpose of this? I mean, I know Fox News had just that, but we did find it in another media outlet. What was it? Teen Vogue?
Teen Vogue, which was surprisingly an in-depth article, because Teen Vogue versus Fox. Well, I just realized Fox News. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, surprisingly, Teen Vogue had a rather comprehensive article about it. It delved into the fact that in Guadalajara, the police force, they're focused on the wrong things. Yeah. They're corrupt. The government there is corrupt. The police are busy with busting people for public displays of affection, for they take people off and those people disappear. And the claim in that article was that it's mostly younger people of the country.
I mean, you got to sell somebody.
Right. Yeah, there's the slave trade. I mean, it really is a true thing. It still exists. But they're not busting people. There were this month, and today is the 4th. This month so far, they have found 20 bodies in unmarked graves around the city.
Around the city?
Around the city of Guadalajara.
Jeez.
We're fucking 4 days into this, and they found 20 dead bodies.
I mean, technically they could have died last month.
True, but if they're finding them at this kind of rate, that's got to say something to the crime. I mean, the murder rate over there is massive.
Also, I'm thinking, so they decided, okay, our cops are not going to focus on telling people to stop having sex in public.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly they find all these bodies. Is there one-to-one there?
I don't know.
And we don't even know sadly, we don't know if that's going to stick. It's been in there. I think it went in on the 23rd. of last month of August, and at this point, it's still they've taken away that bylaw. So hey, go for it. Go to Guadalajara, have sex. Just make sure nobody complains about it.
Yeah.
Be impressive.
Be suppressive. Oh, impressive.
Okay.
Impressive.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. That's the government coming out of me.
Again?
Wow.
Man,
I don't even know.
You say wow when the government comes out of you. Was that impressive for you, Greedy?
Suppressive. Suppressive. Be repressive.
Let's move on from the sad news of the government being corrupt and things. No, not like in America.
Yeah, you're full of shit. Swear to God, every government is corrupt. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. There's no getting past that. We do not need to be discussing politics on this show.
I realized it after I said that I was going to send you on a rant. I apologize.
Oh my God, asshole. Listenerland, you can blame Awesome for this rant.
You can email Awesome at the Gotham Press at gothampresspodcast@gmail.com.
Please do.
I'm really pushing this because I want people to talk to us. I want our fan base to talk to us.
If you're listening to us right now, I'm going to put this out there. The first 3 people to email us at the Gotham Press Podcast at Gotham Press Podcast at gmail.com are going to get something from the podcast. I'm not certain what it is. It will be more than a crisp high five.
More than a crisp high five. Maybe Greedy's beard.
I could give you a piece of my beard. That wouldn't be creepy at all. Yes, it would.
It would be just up your alley.
Yeah, well, I don't know that other people are into my kink.
Hey, you don't care. It's your kink.
Celebrity deaths. We've had a couple of celebrity deaths in the past couple of weeks.
That sounded like a very harsh segue there.
Well, yeah. I mean, celebrity deaths are kind of my kink.
Wow.
Right?
Hollywood, run! Flee! Because he's never seen anything that you've done.
Who?
You. There's so many movies that I've had to introduce you to.
This is true.
Who died?
Well, we have a couple of names worthy of mentioning. First off, Aretha Franklin. If you don't know Aretha Franklin, then
you are a horrible individual, or you're very young and your parents sheltered you.
Yeah, I didn't know Aretha Franklin until like I was 13 or 14 years old.
What?
Right?
Okay, I understand. You've told me how you grew up. I understand.
Sheltered. But she was tremendous. I mean, she was a beautiful person. And
yeah.
She will be sadly missed.
Amazing voice. Amazing vocal range.
Killer range.
Oh, I forgot to put this in the rundown. But did you hear what CNN did?
No.
They were doing a story about her death. And they put up a picture for Aretha Franklin. Only it was Patti LaBelle.
Oh my God. Oh, talk about all-time biggest bonehead mistakes.
Now, in their slight defense, it was a concert that they were both at. I guess they just couldn't tell who was who.
Really? How do you fuck that up?
Easily, young people who don't know who people are.
Oh, she's black. Yeah, that must be her. What news network was this?
I believe it was CNN.
We need to fact check this and make sure that we're putting this right. So let's. I'm gonna.
Yeah, fact check it.
Fact check it real quick.
You fact check.
I'm having too much fun with this.
You really are. All right. Well, while you're fact checking that, who else died?
Gene Wilder.
That man is a fucking legend.
Absolute legend. He eulogy. I don't care about that.
Do you want me to look it up while you talk about Gene Wilder?
Yes,
I'll look it up while you talk about Gene Wilder.
Please do. You're better at that anyway, and I'm kind of distraught about Gene Wilder anyway.
Talk about it.
So Gene Wilder, most of the population of the United States would know him as Willy Wonka, or as the Waco Kid from Blazing Saddles, or as so many different characters. He did a lot of Mel Brooks movies. He did a lot of really great comedy movies. Did a couple of good serious parts, and he's tremendous actor. He had a great range. Young Frankenstein.
Yes.
He was Young Frankenstein.
Oh, I found it. I apologize, CNN. I was wrong. I messed up. Can you guess what other news network would have that kind of a blunder?
Fox?
Fox it is. Thank you, Fox News.
that makes more sense.
Yes. I apologize, CNN.
As much as hilarious as it would have been if it were CNN or NBC or MSNBC or any of those networks that
do actual news.
The fact that it's Fox News.
Again.
Oh my God, that is so cliche.
It is. I apologize. Back to your sadness over Gene Wilder.
Yes, Gene Wilder, hats off to you, my good man. You will be missed.
He died from
complications of what was it? Dementia? No,
I thought you said Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's. It was Alzheimer's.
It was Alzheimer's. It's okay though. He did not see it coming. I know it's a horrible joke.
You are going to burn in hell. Somebody is going to send you there. It won't be me, but
if you have a problem with what I said, please email me about it at gotham.presspodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, me.
Do you see what I'm doing here, Greedy?
I do. You're trying to get everybody to email you.
I'm trying to get our fan base to interact with us.
It's a popularity contest,
which we at this point are going to win. Damn it!
I would love to win that one.
Have you gotten your grievances out with the deaths?
I think so.
Okay. I got a question, Greedy.
Yeah.
We here in the kinky lifestyle, we take on roles.
Yes.
We choose titles for ourselves, where our titles are chosen for us.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes we don't even realize we're living a title until somebody says, "Oh, that's what that's called."
I swear to God, you are a submissive. You're a closeted submissive.
Who?
You, Awesome.
The fuck?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
We know. I've seen you.
Greedy?
I've seen you secretly masturbating to ball gags and chains.
Greedy, don't make me stab you. Anyway, this is the shit I have to deal with, listeners. If you want to send me condolences, please email me at gothampresspodcast@gmail.com.
Oh my God.
Yes?
Ha ha ha.
We're going to talk about that later.
Title. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that
asshole.
later. Stay tuned to the end for that. But the question I have is, why? Why? It's basically a question of why are you, not you, Greedy, you as in anybody, what they are. Why do people choose those roles?
Well, I would contend that there's two possibilities here. The first being an active choice. Let's say somebody is in charge at work all day long. Their home life, they're in charge all day long, and they want to have some sort of reprieve from that. Well, taking up the role of a submissive, playing that part where you're not in control, giving up total control to some other person
that you trust,
hopefully that you trust.
Hopefully, yes.
That can be.
Trust can be bought in this life too.
Yes, it can. Sort of.
With under negotiations.
Yeah, that can be very, very powerful, very empowering and
freeing,
crippling and freeing at the same time. The other path would be, this is naturally who I am, how I feel. This is what I feel right with, and for most dominants, and for most who identify as slaves, this is what draws you to it. It's more of a feeling of, this is how I feel right. When you feel that connection with your position relative to another person, that's more of a draw than a decision, at least in my opinion.
So, Greedy, what drew you?
The beautiful woman that I am with. I'm the one in charge at work all the time. So this is me speaking from my own personal experience. I like to let go, and I can't do that at work. I can't do that around my blood family.
Even though if they try to take control from you?
Yeah, well, never. No.
Never again.
Never again. I've tasted control, and I'm not going to relinquish it, except by my own choice.
Good job.
And it feels right with my mistress. It's something that only she gets. If I work my will about it, it's something that she will be the only person to ever get from me. Because it feels right going to her. It doesn't feel right going to anybody else.
But you, my friend, are submissive with your mistress, but I believe you identify as a switch, yes?
Yes, I am.
All right. So tell us about that. How is switch a part of you?
Well, switching says that I enjoy play from both sides. While I am submissive to my mistress, while she is ultimately in control, we do like to play both ways. And I just kind of get my jollies from both directions. It is a trip. It's fun to be on top, to be the one in control of a scene, of a play scene. Knowing that ultimately it's my choice, my moves, my decision to do whatever I'm going to do is going to affect whatever play we do. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm definitely a switch.
Okay.
How about yourself?
So when I initially got introduced to the lifestyle, this was years ago, long before I even knew about a Fet life. I was introduced by a coworker, a woman that I work with who, for I guess years prior, had been a pro-dom. We were having a conversation at work, and it just happened to be just the two of us. And she looked at me and said, "So, enter my real name here. How long have you been a dominant?" And I looked at her, and it took me a second to realize what she said. I'm like, "A what?" And she just kind of talked to me about it a little bit. Let me know. And then she introduced me and said, "Oh, hey, try these things out. Look these things up," which I did. She actually let me borrow her copy of The Story of O.
Oh.
Yeah. Which, here's the thing. I own a copy of The Story of O. I have yet to finish that book, and I've owned it for like 8 years.
I have never picked it up.
I am a horrible individual. I know that. But I found more recently, I'd say since I actively got into the community about 4 years ago now, I guess. Yeah.
Has it been that long?
Going on 5 years.
Wow.
I've kind of morphed. Still on the top side of the slash, but more of a daddy dom than just a regular dominant.
Okay.
I found that being a daddy dom, it costs me more. Instead of just being like, I am in charge of this. It's like, okay, I'm in charge, but I'm trying to nurture someone. I'm trying to comfort someone. Hey, there's that one that changed the name.
Come out here, Rumi.
We are completely embarrassing her and calling her out.
She will not make a peep. I guarantee it. She will not make a sound during
Make
this
a
recording.
liar out of him.
Please.
Come on.
Your reverse psychology has worked on me.
Yay! So, VH is no longer VH. VH, who are you now?
Sugar's girl.
Sugar's girl. Okay.
That's fitting. That is.
I think so.
I believe it is as well. And I'm sure Sugar is happy about it too.
I think so.
This is good.
Shout out to Sugar. You're freaking awesome, dude.
Listen to the podcast. Also, if you want to tell us to not use your name anymore, email us at gothampresspodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, my me.
Oh, you're you?
So, I think that's actually a good segue for...
Actually, not quite yet.
What?
Because she came out.
Do you want to talk about yourself?
What about me?
Well,
Please,
the current
seat.
topic is, why are you whatever your role is?
God, if only I knew why, that would be amazing.
So what is your role?
Submissive / slave.
Okay. Oh, submissive / one day I can learn how to talk.
Sex slave.
Sex slave.
Yes.
That's my role. Sex slave.
Oh,
Yes.
right. Tell us more. We need to insert sexy music right now.
I've asked myself that question, why am I the way I am, so many times. I've never really come up with an answer.
Do you enjoy being the way you are?
Absolutely. I definitely can't do vanilla. I tried it. I am never going back.
Good move.
Yeah, definitely. But I've had this kind of thoughts and feelings and desires since I was really young.
Oh, wow.
Since before my fantasies were even sexual, I would have dreams and imaginary friends, and looking back, it was all somebody in charge of me, somebody controlling me.
Oh.
It's been something that I've looked for in a relationship as long as I can remember.
Wow.
And so ever since then, I've been looking for it. I got burnt out in my early 20s. I used to go on the Yahoo chat rooms.
Yahoo.
Yeah, and I had a couple online dominants.
How well did those work out for you?
Not very well. I can't say. I met a few people in person, never found a connection. Then I met my vanilla husband at work, and he was very, very vanilla. Decided I would try to be vanilla for about 7 years, almost 8 years, and that really did not work for me. And I've never been happier since I finally reached out and found my local community.
Since you found me?
Since I found you, yes. Literally since I found you. Because you're the first person I reached out to when I joined the community.
I feel so special.
And you met me at a local place and made me feel really comfortable and made me feel really welcome. And through the group, I met my current dominant, and I'm extremely happy in my role.
I'm going to cry, man.
It's all thanks to you.
I do what I can. All right. So now, Greedy, we can move on.
Okay. Well,
I'm bringing this question up because of things that have been happening in the local community.
Okay.
Social etiquette in the local community. When I say social etiquette, I mean how people are supposed to act, how people are supposed to interact at local things, like our own local Wicked Wednesday.
Okay.
At Munches, things like that.
Let's give a little background to Listenerland, because there are listeners that are not part of the community, and they may not know what these events are.
I will try my best to be ambiguous with it. There is a local member of the community who was gone for quite some time. Mm-hmm. This member of the community came back. Previously, they left because they had some issues. We'll say anger issues.
Okay.
And they spent time, worked through them, and decided they were ready to come back. They came back, and yes, they had gotten better, but it was obvious that they hadn't gone through all the work that they needed to yet. Mm-hmm. Just recently, I've spoken with this member, and they let me know that if suddenly, like a light bulb went off about what they were doing and realizing what they did.
Okay.
Now, the reason I'm bringing this up as far as social etiquette, what does one do at an event? What does one do and not do? Do you want to get up and talk to everybody? Yes, it's a social event. You're supposed to be social. Mm-hmm. What you don't do is hug people non-consensually, which I personally have been guilty of at least once.
Okay.
You don't just go up and completely insert yourself into a conversation, things like that. Mm-hmm. Greedy, anything from you?
There's always the basic stuff. I mean, the stuff that should go without saying. Don't make a scene.
Yes, that is a very big one.
If you're in a public environment, don't call attention to yourself. I mean,
not even don't call attention to yourself. Don't call attention to
the group.
To the group.
If you call attention to yourself and by proxy call attention to the group, then odds are very good that that group is not really going to be welcome back at whatever venue it is that they're holding the event. Even if they are regulars there, even if they provide several hundred, if not several $1,000s in revenue every week or every month. If you make a scene and do not represent the group as a whole in the manner that that establishment would like, then they're likely to ask you not to come back, both as a group and as individuals.
Right.
So you've got to represent not only yourself, but everybody around you. And know that you are representing everybody around you. And know exactly how to represent everyone around you. Is that clear enough? Or did I...
No, that's pretty clear. Sugar's girl, any thoughts?
I think that there's not much difference between interacting in a kink setting and interacting in the vanilla world when it comes to social interactions. There are normal social rules and how you interact with people, and I think that you should carry that over. Just because you're in a kink community doesn't mean all of a sudden you have permission to touch, that you have permission to be in people's personal space, that you have permission to be overly invasive or creepy and hovery. Like, you wouldn't do that in a vanilla setting. So you also shouldn't do that in a kink setting. There's nothing about that means it's okay because you're at something like that. And I think, unfortunately, not everybody has the skill to read social cues. And that's a big problem. You really have to hone that skill. You have to be able to pick up on what other people are putting out. Like, if somebody is physically kind of backing away from you and guarding themselves, like, you need to be able to pick up on that. If they're not making eye contact with you and they seem to want to get away, you need to let them get away. Being overly aggressive in that circumstance, even if you consider yourself a dominant and you think somebody is submissive, is not appropriate, especially when you're first getting to know somebody and you're new in the community.
I agree. So the leader of the event that I'm speaking of actually just recently posted up 5 rules. As they say, 5 simple rules for attending.
Care to divulge?
I will. First rule, if it's not yours, don't touch it. This being, if somebody brings out a toy of some sort, if somebody has anything that isn't yours, a submissive. If it's not your submissive, if it's not your dominant.
I'd like to insert something here. If you're at a public venue for a kink event in a public venue, don't bring your toys out.
Don't. That's usually true. But sometimes, hey, I just got this thing recently. Hey, I want to show it off. I'm not bringing it out, waving it. Hey, look at this.
Discretion.
Discreetly, yes. But still, if it's not yours, don't touch it. Leave unresolved shit with other parties outside. This is something that we had to deal with recently in our local community. Somebody had an issue with somebody outside of the event. They saw each other and almost came to blows. Luckily, it didn't. This is something that I haven't seen in a while. Don't invite randoms.
Oh, God. I've seen that several times since I've been part of this group.
Randoms being people that don't know what kind of event they're going to.
If you're going to go, if you're usually it's only going to happen if you're relatively new to the lifestyle and you don't know it just by experience. If you're relatively new to the lifestyle and you want to bring somebody to a lifestyle event, you sure as fuck better make sure that they know what they're going to. We had a guy one time bring a girl to an event, to this local event that we're talking about, Wicked. And she had absolutely no idea what she was going to. He had told her that they were going to meet a bunch of his friends for dinner. But he had failed to divulge that it was a kink-related thing, that we were a bunch of people that get together and beat each other, and that we do it in a sexual fashion. So when Little Miss Prude came to the event, she was suddenly shocked and disgusted that all of us were those people.
Those people?
She made a scene, and we got invited not to go back to that restaurant.
SG, are we those people?
I think we definitely are.
Oh my.
But I'm proud of it.
Hell yeah.
What do you guys think about the line that the host of this event put in the rules that says that if you bring somebody to the event, they must at least have a vet profile?
I kind of agree with that, but
I'm kind of at odds with that.
Yeah, it's like, I kind of get it. I understand. Hey, that way they know what kind of thing they're definitely going to. But not everybody has that. Not everybody is comfortable with that up front.
I'll tell you, when I first heard about this community, I did not make a profile for 3 months. I kept getting onto the site and chickening out because I'm not one of those people. I was a prude, yes. But after talking to a gentleman from another state on one of the other websites I was on at the time, and I later discovered that I was not actually one of those people. He finally convinced me to get on and reach out to my local community, and I didn't believe for a second that there was anybody else in this conservative town that would be into a lifestyle like this. I am pleased to say I was wrong.
You were proven incorrect, sir.
I was, and it's been wonderful ever since.
Back to the randoms.
Yes.
I remember a specific issue. I think it happened that first year I moved out here.
Okay.
There was a pool party upstate.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
Okay, so I'm remembering this right.
Yeah, you are.
One of the local people for that particular community decided they were going to bring their friend with them.
Yeah. Now, this is not a person that was oblivious to what was going on. Rather, they had misconstrued notions of what it would be. When said person brought their guest random, we'll call him Mr. Rando.
I don't even call him Mr. anything. BitchRando is more like
BitchRando. Okay,
BitchRando.
BitchRando. When BitchRando showed up, BitchRando suddenly started getting very close to multiple women, started touching in inappropriate ways that he did not have consent for, and when BitchRando was confronted about this, started making threats and started wanting to get in a fight. Matter of fact, it was a shock that confronted him.
I remember that.
And if you've never met Shock Doc is not easily intimidated, especially by BitchRando that is shooting his mouth and pretending like he's puffing up, trying to make himself look bigger than he actually is. Shock Doc is
he was not that big.
Completely chill. BitchRando, not the biggest guy in the world, and I'll let listener land know that I'm not exactly the smallest guy in the world. If it came to blows, I'm sure Shock Doc would have been hit once or twice. I'm also fairly sure that he would have put BitchRando in his place, and by the time I got into it, BitchRando would have been screaming and crying as he tucked tail and ran out the door.
But as I remember it, he was escorted out.
He was escorted out.
While yelling the entire time.
And alerting the entire neighborhood to what was going on at this pool party.
So what was the false impression that he was under?
All the women were sluts and were going to fuck him as soon as he said, "Hey, I got a penis."
Hey, penis! Suck it, ladies! BitchRando. Every time we meet a rando, they are hereby to be called BitchRando.
BitchRando it is.
I wonder if that FET profile is taken. That FET name.
On it.
You see what you did? Do you see what you did? All right. So what's the next one? I don't think I saw this one before. Greedy, you may have if you've been in longer. Do not sneak off and perform sex acts with another person, either in the bathroom or in the parking lot.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I have never personally seen it.
I've heard about it happening in the parking lot. I've heard about women having men come to the event to vet them, and not even vet them, but
to meet them to make sure that they're not a total creep.
Right, and then shortly thereafter escape to the parking lot to exchange favors.
Crazy enough, if you've got to have them come to a group to get vetted to make sure that they're not crazy, odds are that you found them on somewhere like, Craigslist or the classified ads, and they're fucking there for a purpose.
Yeah.
So please, don't bring them to our goddamn events.
Also, and this one I would think would go without saying,
Oh.
would be an obvious thing to not bring children to
Jesus
kink
Christ.
events. Do not bring underage children.
Has this ever been an issue?
Yes, this has been an issue.
Interesting.
There have been several people that over the years have brought children. Like I'm not talking like 10 or 12-year-olds. I'm talking infants, toddlers, little tiny kids, and that makes a lot of people in an adult lifestyle very uncomfortable.
Very.
This is potentially a legal issue.
Greedy.
Yes.
I don't think you were there at the time, but do you remember us talking about the kink event at Hustler?
I remember you talking about it, but no, I did not get to go.
Okay, so at this event, there was a toddler in a stroller. Their parents had brought them. So the parents could watch this event, and the toddler's just kind of running around the store.
The parents should be arrested for that.
This is a Hustler Hollywood, not a child-friendly store.
No, Hustler is, they explicitly say 18 or over.
Yeah.
Don't take kids in where there's dick-shaped lollipops.
Yeah, don't take your kids into adult stores.
Fuck. If that's something that needs to be said, then that speaks volumes about where society is today. We're getting off on another fucking goddamn tangent.
This is what happens here.
Why are you so angry?
I hate society. I do.
Greedy?
What?
Why so serious?
I'm starting to wonder if I hate you.
I feel like
I'm
you're
sure you
one
do.
step closer to your bunker in the woods.
I had a chat with a gentleman today about just that.
That does not surprise me.
It does not.
I'm glad it doesn't. You know me fairly well.
Okay. So, to segue from this,
It'll be a sex bunker.
to segue from all that about social etiquette and lifestyle, what types of meetups are there in kink?
There's the vanilla ones like we've been talking about that we've had most of our social etiquette discussion about, where you come out and meet people in a vanilla setting that is safe, and there's no sexual acts, there's no play, there's no extreme touching, no groping or anything like that, but it's a way to meet people. Then there's less than public events.
So these are events that you have to be vetted for, perhaps?
The majority of them, yes. There are some play spaces that are still public play spaces. Anybody off the street can get into them, sign a waiver, and you can come in and play for a fee.
In larger communities.
Larger communities like Los Angeles, San Francisco. There's a place in Sacramento. There's places all over the U.S., all over the world that you can find these communities in.
Back in St. Louis. I didn't even know about this until after I moved out here.
Oh, Jesus. The one that got shut down because they were right across the street from a school?
No. Here's the thing. That was the one that was doing it right. That was make sure you were vetted. That nobody could just come in. What happened was somebody that had been vetted, that was trusted, came in and recorded because the pay space, we'll call it, decided, oh no, they're getting their jollies for free. I can't have that.
Yeah, that's some total bullshit.
Yeah. So pay spaces, though in many larger communities, are a good thing because, hey, sometimes people just don't have anywhere else to go. They can be dicks.
Yeah. Well, if your business is dependent on shutting down somebody that's running a free thing for their friends, your business shouldn't exist in the first place.
I agree. All right, so we're getting off topic.
Pay space, you can shove it up your ass.
All right, so what other types of meetups are there in kink?
Oh, yeah, huh? Well, there's munches.
Yeah.
Munches are a public thing. There's parties. Parties are something that typically you have to be invited to. Again, if you're at one of those places where there's a big public venue, then you don't have to be invited to it, but you just have to know where it is. If it's held at a private location, like we three are 3 of the 4 Dungeon Dragons out of our town, if it's held at our place, you sure as fuck better get to know one of us before you expect to come.
Yep.
Because we will not let you come. We will not let you come again until you get to know somebody in this community in a vetting manner. There are people in our community, as there are across the nation and across the world, who go to places just to meet people to say, yes, okay, you're not crazy. You can come and test the waters. If you're not willing to go that far, then we're not willing to let you in.
So, also along with that, something that we offer a lot here in the local community are educational events.
Yes, there are.
And discussion groups.
Discussion groups. Practice events.
Practice events are a lot of fun.
Yeah, and when I say practice events, like I host one locally that is doing rope practice.
What do you call that?
Not a lot.
KNOT.
Not a lot. There is a open spanking. It's not really practice so much, just a, hey, if you want to come and get spanked or spank someone. And that one is Spanks a Lot. Not hosted by me.
Real creative there.
Hey.
Not a lot, Spanks a Lot. Okay.
Hey, he came after me.
As long as you come first, that's all that matters.
That's true. And then there are events for, both. Are you okay, Greedy?
Opinions are like orgasms. I don't care if you have one as long as I do.
Wow. Greedy, you ass. I was going to say, as far as other events, though, we have more education, like meetup groups. Like there's the Downnet discussion. We have a Bottoms Club.
Bakersfield Bottoms Club.
Mm-hmm.
Lifestyle discussion
for everybody in the lifestyle.
Mast.
Masters and slaves together.
Dominant discussion group.
Didn't I just say that?
I don't know.
Yes,
maybe.
This is why I don't like you sometimes, Greedy. You don't listen to the words.
Have you mentioned not a lot?
Listeners, if you want to email Greedy to tell him that he's an asshole, please email us at gothampresspodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, it's going to be fun. We're actually going to get listeners' emails.
Hopefully.
We need to get a P.O. box.
Not yet.
Okay, when we hit 1,000 listeners, we're getting a P.O. box.
Listeners, if you want to get us up to 1,000 listeners, tell your friends about the podcast, and then tell them to email us at gothampresspodcast@gmail.com.
That would be cool.
Also, you can have them add us on social media. Like, we're on Facebook as Gotham Press Podcast. We're on Twitter, Gotham Press Pod. We're on FetLife, The Gotham Press. We're here for you.
Everywhere except Facebook.
Didn't I just...
Along the lines of education, there are tastings.
Oh, yes, tastings.
How could we forget about the tastings?
And there are also quasi-kink type gatherings. Like, in our community, we have a game night.
Yes.
We have pool parties that they're alcohol involved usually in these.
Which, if there's alcohol involved, we don't allow play.
Yeah, that is a rule of this community. If there's any play that's going to be going on, there's no alcohol.
No alcohol, no intoxicants.
So it's your kinky friends getting together and having a good time, but it's not necessarily
kink-related.
Kink activity.
Right. So many things that we do here.
Oh, Christmas party.
Can't
forget about that.
Christmas party, yeah. I think in December, I remember somebody mentioning it, but I'm not sure how official it is yet. We're going to get a caravan together to go down to LA to one of their events, the Bizarre Bazaar.
There are leather conferences, different kinds of conferences where you can go and attend.
Ooh. Yeah, and they have competitions at those conferences, like for title holders. If you ever get a chance, go to one of those and just observe it. See what all goes into obtaining a leather title.
Greedy, I realize what we haven't done, and we've had plenty of time to do it.
We haven't done a podcast at a title.
No, we haven't gotten our fucking title holders on our podcast.
Oh, shit.
The current master and slave for the Southwest Master Slave title holders who live in Bakersfield.
Yeah, we need to talk to them.
Who we are friends with.
Let's schedule this. Like, we'll have to work around theirs.
Yeah, we obviously have to work around theirs.
Fuck.
Oh God, I didn't realize how busy they were until until they actually started. I'm like, well, they used to be here all the time. Where are they? Gone.
We'll reach out to them and see if we can't get that scheduled. I'll leave that up to you.
Well, we got to get you scheduled with it too.
I know. You make the schedule. Like give it a month and a half, and I will make the schedule work for me.
Okay, you heard it here first. Greedy's going to try to make it work.
I will not try. Do or do not. There is no try. Yoda said that shit.
No.
What we don't do in our community, which would be nice if we would start something up, and I'm not volunteering.
You should be.
A formal service events, like a formal service tea, a formal service dinner, where you've got
like a high protocol
like
sort
a
of
high
thing?
protocol situation where you have the servants who come and serve the tea and serve the food. A lot of times they'll do foot service. Those are really neat events. I've been to a few of them in our neighboring communities.
Okay. Are there any other types of kink meetups that you all can think of?
Littles parties.
Oh yes, little parties.
That would fall under the quasi kink event probably.
I don't know about that because technically being a little is in the realm of kink at this point. It's not a normal
sexual event.
Yeah, it's not a sexual event, but it is still a kink event.
Okay, if we're delving into non-sexual events, let's do pet play.
Oh yeah, we have Pet Den.
Mm-hmm. In some of the bigger communities, there's actually equine groups.
Oh yeah,
people that do pony play.
Yeah, man, we got so much going on.
It is a very diverse group. You can really find something for everybody. Word
to the wise, do not kink shame. Because as weird as somebody's kink may be to you, I guarantee they think that one of your kinks is every bit as fucking weird as you think theirs is.
It's okay if you kink shame Greedy though.
Fuck you.
If you agree with me,
dildo.
If you agree with me about kink shaming Greedy, please email at gothampresspodcast@gmail.com.
What orifice does this sandpaper dildo enter?
Up his ass.
No. Why are you looking at me that way?
She's thinking about you being penetrated by a sandpaper dildo.
No.
Scotch Brite dildo.
You're horrible. One thing, though, that somebody mentioned to me a couple weeks back, I want to say, actually, I think was just prior to the last munch. Somebody was asking, why isn't there a switch group in the local area?
Okay.
Well, as I'm not a switch, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I would be the one to host something like that.
For Listenerland, if you're going to suggest, hey, we should have this, then you really need to be prepared to volunteer to head up that group. SG, I think that's directed partially at you, but more directed at anybody that tries to say we need to have a
whatever
switch group. We need to have a dog walkers group. We need to have whatever. If you're going to suggest it, don't take it to the plate of the people that already put on all of the other events.
Well, and you need to be a switch too. Like I wouldn't, create a switch group or host a switch group because I don't switch.
And the funny thing was, when that was suggested to me, I want to say at least 3 switches that were like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. In my head, all I'm thinking is, go ahead and do it. But out of my mouth said, yes, that does. As I nod furiously, please do it.
What I'm finding is that the majority of switches in the community right now are new people in the community who probably not in the best position to start leading a group.
This may be true. I do agree with that. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, if they don't do it, who will?
See that a couple of these switches have come to me asking if I would head it up, and I flat out told them no, I won't. My plate's full. As Shock Doc says, my dance card is full. I'm not taking on any more responsibilities right now. If something drops off, then I'll visit the possibility of doing it. But likely, I'm going to want to free up a little bit of time because between work and kink and all
Life?
of the other aspects of my life, I'm fucking booked.
I started heading up 3 events since I've been here. 2 of them I made on my own. One of them, the former leader decided, hey, he had too much on his dance card, so he handed it over to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, great. I have 3 events now. You have far too much outside of events.
Yeah.
Even just to handle stuff. Valerian, you have your own event.
Who?
Well,
Oh, sorry, Sugar. Sugar's girl.
Valerian, I'll still answer to Valerian. That's fine. Another issue is, like, I feel like if somebody in the community was just willing to be like a facilitator, like a logistics, just post the event and willing to be here at the headquarters to greet people
And say, come on in.
And say come on in and let people come and talk, that wouldn't be a bad thing. And it's true, like, but a lot of the people who live in this house have a lot on their plate. Mm-hmm. Like, I spend almost every weekend in another city because my relationship is long distance, and so it becomes hard, to think about taking on another group when you already host one, like when you already host 3.
Right.
So it would be great if somebody else in the community could step up and do that, because that is a need that's not currently being met in our community.
Mm-hmm.
So listeners, if you are a Switch and you're hearing this and you think, you know what, I'm close to Bakersfield, I can help out, please email us at Gotham Press Podcast at gmail.com, and we will forward that information over to whoever needs it. Most likely you, so you can be like, hey, yeah, you know what? I said it, I need to do it.
It's a good idea. Collect those emails.
Show them off to all the other Switches. Say, hey, Switches, there is a calling. Come together.
Huh. We could start a march. Switches, don't be bitches.
Switches, don't be bitches.
I might lead that march. I don't know.
But you're a bit... never mind, Greedy.
I will take a cast iron skillet to your kneecap.
No.
As long as you clean it after, because you boys don't clean those ice cast iron skillets for crap.
He is the only one... I've stopped using them.
I have not used either of them in several weeks.
Then that's going to be the other dragon, Butterfly, or one of her guys. Actually, I think
possible.
I think Sprinkle used it last time.
I had to clean both cast iron skillets before the party this last weekend. So just saying.
I want to say it was Sprinkle that used it at that point. Then I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, I think we've kind of gone through that topic.
Now we get to discuss why Awesome is an asshole.
Don't talk about my daddy that way.
Aww.
Wait,
I have such a cute...
How is Awesome your daddy and
and
the
Foxy.
Brat's mommy?
I am Foxy Brat's mommy. I am Sugar's daddy.
Sugar's girl's daddy.
Sugar's girl's daddy. I am not Sugar's daddy at all.
Oh, I didn't know he had a daddy.
Hey,
No.
Sugar Nuts, I really hope you're listening to this.
Sugar Nuts, if you have a problem with this, please email us at gothampresspodcast@gmail.com.
It came out of his mouth.
Then I think that we decided you were my mommy.
Wait, when did
We
this
did?
get? When did this
that
get to say? Yeah.
I'm in the dark too.
Wait, who was we?
Yeah.
Foxy.
The Foxy Brat.
Foxy
okay.
Brat and I decided that if Captain Awesome could be a mommy and a daddy at the same time, then Greedy could be a mommy and a daddy at the same time.
This is news to me, so I'm gonna have to try and wrap my head around this for a while.
It's very complicated.
It's okay. After you accept that, yes, this person will be calling you mommy, it gets easier.
You know what would be amazing is if you went onto FET and were like, mommy of
No.
Foxy Brat.
No.
You should totally do that.
Actually, I never even thought
You
about
need
that,
to
but
do
I
that.
could do that.
You need to do that.
I could do that. I could do that.
I got to get permission from my mistress to put myself as daddy of.
Yes. All right.
So
Anyway,
let's
I'm an
explain to
asshole.
Listenerland why you're an asshole.
So, Listenerland, this is going back to the nerd stuff. We
Nerd!
We play D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Greedy, for some unknown reason, decided...
Wait. We need to explain. We play 3.5.
That's what I was about to go into.
Okay.
For some ungodly reason, Greedy decided we had to play 3.5.
Because I enjoy 3.5.
And now Sugar's girl is getting bored and she is running away. Bye,
No,
Sugar's girl.
You gotta hear this. You gotta hear the story, okay? Please stick around for the story.
Okay, so Greedy, in his infinite wisdom as God of our world,
As I am the DM of the game.
he is the DM. I'm merely a lowly rogue of level 2. Just went to level 3 and decided I was going to multi-class into a cleric.
Mm-hmm.
This was what, 2 months ago you gave me that item?
Yes. A couple of months ago, during one of our games, he received an item, and up until this point, he didn't know what that item did.
No, you told me what.
No, your character didn't.
Oh,
know.
my character, right?
Your
My
character
character
didn't
still
know.
doesn't know.
Still doesn't know.
What I, as player knowledge, knew was that I got 4 wishes.
Yes.
4 wishes.
And I backed myself into a corner that I didn't even think of the repercussions for it.
Now, no, I got the item 2 months ago. I had never used it up to this point.
I want to give everyone a little bit of knowledge about the work that I put in as a DM for this game.
Oh, please do. Please do.
I put in between 10 and 15 hours per week, and admittedly that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've got a whole bunch of other stuff that you're trying to get done, it takes up a good chunk of your free time.
I don't know what world you live in that 10 to 15 hours a week doesn't seem like a lot. That is a lot of time.
How many hours are there in a week?
I do not know, but that is a lot of them.
Okay, I will admit to that point. That it's about 2 hours per day.
That's a lot.
Okay, continue though.
So I put in
work.
I put in about 12 hours the last week for our game night on Monday. And I had a storyline built up, and the storyline was swimming along beautifully. We were out to sea. The group was in a boat, and they were almost to their destination when they were about to encounter a ship that they would have to battle.
Yeah, we were going to either get captured or have to fight our way out.
It could have worked out multiple ways, and I had several storylines prepared for each of these ways. And then disaster struck my story.
I wouldn't say disaster. I would say awesomeness struck your story. So, as their ship, which is much larger than the one we were on, is bearing towards us, and there is no way we can escape, I, in character, said, man, I wish their boat would spring a leak. Which was the activation for the item that I had.
The item that he still has in his possession.
Still have
that
in my
allows
possession.
him 4 wishes.
Total.
And in total. To give an insight to just how effective this wish was. What did you roll?
No, you rolled. You rolled to see what it would be.
Yes, I rolled to see what it would be, and you rolled. You rolled a d20. You rolled a flat d20.
Oh, did I roll a nat 20
yes,
on that
you
one?
did. You rolled a natural 20 on that.
No, you rolled a nat 20. I rolled a nat 20 on the item you gave me.
No, that was one of the multiple 20s you rolled that night.
What was the item?
Oh, I got Garl's Shiny Thumper. The item I got was a mace because I had cross-class into a cleric. And so Greedy had me roll to see what kind of item I get. I got a nat 20. So he gave me an item handed down to me basically by a deity.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I got a godlike item and then rolled again to have a godlike intervention to the ship barreling down on us, which was basically a whale shark is what I'm considering it was.
Yeah, it was a massive oceanic beast that springs up from the water, chomps down on the boat, doesn't destroy it, but manages to cripple it, terrifying the entire crew and effectively ruining my fucking story.
Wait, there's more. So because of this, in character, I said this. Again, I don't realize it's the item that I have. I have just multi-classed into a cleric. So suddenly, I believe now that God is looking down upon me. And Garl Glitter Gold is looking down upon me.
In Garl we trust.
You are welcome, Greedy.
Do you suppose this is why we have such a high turnover rate for Dungeon Dragons?
I wouldn't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
So, you know, Greedy, on that note, I think we can end it.
You're an asshole.
Hey, SSHOLE.
Closing thoughts?
Oh, shit. I'm usually the one that asked that.
I know.
You're flipping around. This is because I was mean to you
You're
in your storyline.
You're an asshole.
Closing thoughts. If you're going to an event, please don't just barrel your way in. Read the room. Read the situation. If you want something to happen, don't be afraid to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else are we talking? Yes, and as usual, please don't break your toys.
Don't stick your dick in crazy.
That's for you.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Yeah. So, final thoughts from you, Greedy?
I think this was a productive episode.
I agree.
I really do. I think we are getting back to our roots. It's becoming more fun to do again. And
are you saying it wasn't fun?
I'm saying that it was getting somewhat burdensome.
Burdensome?
Not you, but the podcast. You know, it felt less of
enjoying it and more of we have
more
to do
of
this
work. Yeah, but it's feeling more fun again.
Okay. So in closing, thanks for listening. If you have any thoughts on this at all, please email us at gothampresspodcast@gmail.com. Or you can hit us up on any of our social media. On Facebook, just look for Gotham Press Podcast. If you're on Twitter, Gotham Press Pod. If you're on FetLife, hopefully you're on FetLife.
The Gotham Press.
The Gotham Press. Hit us up. Leave us a message. Add us as friends.
Yeah.
You know,
add each of us as friends. Captain Awesome
82
and
Greedy Paul.
If you want a complicated relationship with money, hit me up on that account. It's just money, MONEY.
Did you find the name for BitchRando?
Nobody has claimed bitch_rando.
What about bitch, just altogether BitchRando?
I didn't even check that.
Yeah, do BitchRando all together. And on that note, guess what, everybody? We are done. We hope you enjoyed.
Nope, no bitchrando.
No bitchrando. And Greedy will be probably making that soon. Thanks for coming on this journey with us. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.